Mitt Romney accepts the Republican nomination for president tonight, but what does he need to say in his acceptance speech to win over women and Hispanics? We're going to ask Jerry Seib. He is down there in Tampa right now. He'll be watching, listening to the speech. He hosts our D.C. Bureau show, among many other things. Jerry, just give us in a nutshell, what do you think we're going to hear out of Mitt Romney tonight that will sway those two core groups of voters?
Well, I talked last night to a person involved in writing the speech who said you're going to hear a very personal speech. You know, it was interesting because a lot of what Mitt Romney does is he tries to convince people that he's a fix-it man, you know, that he knows how to fix the economy. And that's kind of a policy process conversation, and that's kind of been what Mitt Romney's done through most of the campaign. I think tonight they want to make they want it to be more personal. They want Mitt Romney to describe his life, not just his process and his ideas and his experience. And so yeah, I think you're going to hear about growing up in Michigan and being the son of George Romney, who was a successful businessman and a former governor, and a lot about his approach to life, including his approach to his faith, his Mormon faith, which you haven't heard much of before. So I think you're going to get essentially a much more personal view of Mitt Romney than you tended to get if you just watched him through the debates.
We're looking at footage right now of Romney and Paul Ryan, who are touring the stage down there in Tampa. Jerry, let me ask you this. Who so far has done the best job of setting Romney up, you know, to be appealing to the American people? A lot of people speaking on behalf of him. Chris Christie, obviously his wife, Ann Romney, Condoleezza Rice last night. Who so far has positioned him the best?
Well, I think the last 45 minutes of last night were really good for the Romney campaign because you had Condoleezza Rice giving a speech that was not really about Mitt Romney. I don't think she set up Mitt Romney, not somebody she doesn't know all that well, but kind of described the Republican view of what America's role ought to be and what the entrepreneurial society in America means to somebody like her. And then you got a really good speech, I think, from Paul Ryan, the vice presidential nominee. And I think that combination worked pretty well. And Paul Ryan talked a lot about Mitt Romney, and including how old-fashioned the playlist on his iPod is, which probably is a first for a national political convention. I think in contrast to the earlier night when Ann Romney was probably really good, but probably expected to be the person who could most talk about Mitt Romney, and Chris Christie, who gave the keynote, but didn't really talk about Mitt Romney all that much. So I think if the question is who really set this up, I think the combination of Ann Romney Tuesday night and Paul Ryan last night those are the memories I think that the convention planners hope people are carrying into tonight's speech.
Now, Senator Marco Rubio has the task of warming up the crowd before Romney takes to the microphone. For people who haven't seen the senator speak, what do you expect to hear out of him tonally and content-wise, Jerry?
He's a very upbeat speaker. He's kind of a positive conservative force kind of guy. It's much like Paul Ryan in that sense. But inevitably, Marco Rubio is going to have to address the other big problem that the party faces, and the one where I think they've probably made less progress this week, which is how do you crack into that giant Democratic lead among Hispanic voters? That's a tough problem. Marco Rubio tonight, and Susana Martinez, a much less well-known figure who's the governor of New Mexico last night, are both attractive, relatively young political figures of Hispanic origin in the party, and I think the goal there is not just to introduce Mitt Romney, but to introduce him in Florida to Hispanics here and in other swing states by the party's probably leading light on that subject. I think the problem is that that's nice, but at the end of the day, you get to a real debate about immigration in which many Hispanics think Republicans are on the wrong side. Marco Rubio would like to change that, but he's not going to change the party's attitude on that in one speech, one night at one convention.
Jerry, a lot of fuss being made over who this mystery speaker will be at the convention tonight. Some reports out there saying that it's going to be Clint Eastwood. Have you heard that? I mean, is he going to be up there saying that Romney makes his day?
Well, we've reported that on a Washington Wire blog that Clint Eastwood is the best bet. But if it's if I know, it's not a mystery anymore, so that's the best I can do, I think. But that's my guess, and that's the guess of a lot of people around the convention hall. And it'll be an interesting one if that's the case, because he's talked a lot about sort of the decline of the American auto industry and Super Bowl ads, and people thought he was making an ad for Barack Obama when he did those commercials during the Super Bowl. If he shows up here, I guess we'll have to have a different theory about those Chrysler commercials he did.
Right, Jerry Seib, we have obviously not seen the last of you, because you will be back with us for all of our convention coverage, which starts tonight live at 9 p.m. with our own Alan Murray here. He will be hosting that. He will also have an interview with Mike Huckabee, and beyond that, you can watch us on all sorts of multiple platforms, including WSJ.com, Hulu, and YouTube.